I to worship you, Lord? Oh. Am I to worship you? Yeah. It's your blood that makes the difference in me. And made a way. And made a way to enter into your throne. I could not come near your presence. I could never sing your song, Lord. I could never sing your song. Yeah. But the sacrifice on Calvary's tree is the reason. Is the reason I can cry out today. Imela, yeah, yeah. Imela Chineke mo. You're my Lord and King, and I bless your name. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
All right, we thank God for tonight's, again, for tonight's Hangout. We give God all the glory. We give God all the praise because He's a faithful God. And I want to use this opportunity to welcome all our viewers all over the world. We welcome you to this Hangout tonight at House CCG Graceville on Facebook live program. And so we want to say Happy New Month to all our viewers. We thank God for what God will be doing in this new month. And we trust God that God will be blessing us very well today. And today we have an interesting topic that we'll be looking into tonight. And the topic is my career, my job, and my calling, or my purpose. And so we'll be doing so much justice to this today, my career, my job, and my purpose. We hope that you're blessed at the end of today. Please enjoy, and we enjoy you to like, share, and comment as we discuss and do justice to this topic. And before we go further, I want us to just have a view about what we want to say today from our street, the comments from people as regards this topic. So join us as we just watch a little skit about today's topic. Thank you.
If I had my way, yes, if I had my way, I'll still be doing my present job because I love the work.
If I had my way, I won't be doing my present job because I am called to help others. And since the situation of things doesn't permit that yet.
Yes, I'm actually a serial entrepreneur. It simply means, I'm just this problem solver. We don't stay too long on a project or on a business. So, yeah.
Yes, I'm very positive I will still be doing this very, very job. Me, I chose this job for the passion that I have and not for survival.
No. I did not choose my present job out of passion. I like to work with NGO. not something that all it deals with is to survive by or other rewards or by being fulfilled. So I prefer to work in an NGO to rescue people, provide for them, whatever they lack.
Well, yeah, out of passion, I choose my job passion. This is actually what I love doing. I had options for other opportunities that really does not might even be more profitable, but they really do not. Those are places. They are not really where I could explore my potentials.
I didn't choose my job because of passion or survivor. Let's say it was by divine arrangement. I believe God directed me one way or the other, though I didn't expressly ask for direction, but He arranged the whole thing in such a way that I found myself in the job.
Um, a friend once told me that I should follow the wind, and the Bible says, even by wisdom, one needs to carry instruction out, just don't carry out anyhow. So the present situation, the kind of what I'm doing now, is just for me to get knowledge. I could use that as not a waste to see do something that can factor into the health thing that I have in mind, that God has called me.
Yes, God has virtually everything to do with my job.
Well, yeah, for me, yes, God has, because basically all I'm doing is there's either it's obvious or not. There's a mission behind it. There's an agenda behind it, and the agenda it's simple: to populate God's kingdom. So God really has, because basically that's why I'm made. God has, I'm made to serve Him, to um make Him have pleasure in what I do. Interesting question. Well, I'm going to be working as a venture builder.
Well, there is a lot to life than just salary. Fulfillment will have been the best thing, not wasting time on getting salary by the end of the month. So I'd rather work where I can help people, regardless of salary, the amount, or the um, reward I get. Being fulfilled is what I care about.
Well, technically, I would say not all jobs will offer the same salary, but of course, there are perks to it. But if I actually wanted to work at a place, in my heart, I would choose Google, Goldman Sachs, General Electric, of course, the oil companies of this world.
I believe I would rather work for God because He always pays the best salary. And like I said, uh, where I am now is by His making. So I can still confidently say I'm still working for Him.
Video, and we are blessed by it. I hope everyone is blessed. And all right, so we'll go from here right now. Before I move forward, proceed from here, I want to welcome on board the person of Mr. Diwali Shukoya on board today. Thank you for joining us on today's Hangout. God bless you. Thank you for taking time out to be part of us today. Thank you so much, sir. And also to my right hand side, I want to welcome Mr. Jerry Hebel on stage today. Thank you so much. It's an opportunity to have you here today. Thank you so much. We trust that you'll be able to help us and help everyone to do justice to the topic before us today, my career, my job, and my calling. And so I want to start from Mr. to my right hand side, Mr. Jerry Abel. We know that from scripture we see different ways where, let's start from the apostles, let's start from Jesus himself. He had a job, he has a career, and he has a calling. We saw that, okay, he is born to save the world. He's a savior, he's the Messiah by ordination. He's the Son of the living God, and he had a mandate even before he came. to the world. There was a prophecy ahead of time in the book of Isaiah that a savior shall be born and the government shall be upon his shoulder. All right, there was prediction, there were prophecies for his coming, and he was born into a family of that what they do as a career or as profession was carpentry. So his father was a carpenter. He too was called the son of the carpenter. So we know that by physically he had a job or he had a career, and also he has a purpose. Looking at the apostles, also some of them were called fishermen. They were they were into fishing business.
They were fishermen.
Fishermen. And God took them, and Jesus Christ met them and made them fishers of men. Do you understand? And gave them a purpose and made them discover who they really are in God and what God. So it means that there are people, there is a job, there is a calling, and there is a career. So for me, let's start from you, sir. What is the difference between a job and a career?
Praise God. Okay. When we're talking about a job, praise God.
Hallelujah.
A job is what you do just to earn a daily living. So earn money, being paid for. At times when you have taken up a job, it might not necessarily be what you want to do, but because you want to earn the living, that is why you go into it. Right. Then when we talk about career is doing what you are doing consistently, and you are happy doing it. And you are happy doing it. At times, in the case of looking at from where you were trying to bring out from, talking about Jesus Christ, the the disciples. The disciples were fishermen.
Okay.
They were busy doing that fishing work as a business.
All right.
And they were happy in what they were doing. But the main call, was not that thing that they were doing.
Okay.
That was why Jesus Christ came into the scene.
All right.
To bring out the picture of the main reason
why they were born.
Why they were born.
Okay. So was it possible that they had a job as fishermen?
Yeah, that is
and also because I'm about asking Mr. Wale also, and does it mean that they also picked that job as a career?
Yeah, they picked that job as a career. They were happy doing it.
All right.
When you look at them very well, they were very happy doing it.
All right.
But when Jesus came into the scene, by bringing out their understanding that you can go more than this.
All right.
You know, at times when you are doing a particular job, which is your career, which you are happy doing, that your career, God can push you from there and lead you into your calling.
All right.
That's why I keep on saying something concerning that area, that at times your talent or your gift is you walk towards your direction of your calling.
All right. Let's just hang it there. Thank you very much. All right. Let me come to Mr. Wale. Mr. Wale, why do you think some people do certain jobs? Why do you think, because some can do a job, let me not answer that question for you. Why do you think people pick up a job and pick up a career for themselves? Because is there possibilities that you could have a different job and a career separately from what you're doing? Maybe you have a job, this is what you do as a job, and this is what you do as a career. Different. Why do you think people take up a job, for example, and why do you think they pick up a job and a career? Why do you think? Some take it for maybe some reasons. Let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
for the opportunity.
All right, sir.
Okay, people could take up a job because they needed money to survive.
Okay, survival.
Yes,
yeah.
survival. Okay. And basically, it pays for a position that you are holding in a particular organization, or in a particular place, or in a particular forum. Now, you are taking up that job because you need money, first to survive. Now, talking about career, is it possible for someone to have take up a paid job and also a career? Yes. Having a career is very possible. Probably while you are working on your career, is not bringing forth fund at the moment, you understand? So you needed to take up a job so that while you're doing the job, your pet project that is appearing as a career, you are working on it on the side. You understand? So on the long run, when your pet project, which is your career, is able to grow to a certain level where it can be self-sustaining and it could also sustain you and your family, then you can do away with the job.
Okay, but a situation where an individual has a job and is also, that job is also his career. Because there are people that, okay, the job, they pick up a job not because they really needed money, but because that was their passion. Do you understand? Because we are still going to talk about calling, passion. So, for example, somebody who picks up a job because he loves doing that job, and he also finds a career in that job, which means the essence why he picked that job is not because he needed it for money. He needed it to build a career. What do you say about that? What does that kind of person, okay, for instance, he picked a job, he loved the job, or because he needed money, and he now eventually found that job to be interesting and he wants to build a career on that job. What do you say to that, sir?
It's quite very possible to build up a career from a job. It's very, very possible to build up a career from a job. Take, for instance, when you take up the job, you enjoy doing it, you enjoy the line of the work, and on the long run, irrespective of what the condition now turns out to be. Take, for instance, when companies were laying off staffs. And there are some staffs that I have privilege to know that they told them that it is either we lay off some of the staffs or we just cut down on the salary that we are going to be paying. You understand? I believe those that are taking up the job for survival will not be able to survive in that kind of context.
Yes.
But those that enjoy what they are doing and that wants to build up a career through that line of job will still be able to survive because they enjoy what they are doing.
Regardless if
regardless,
wow.
Because they enjoy what they are doing.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to say to that, sir?
To add to what is bringing out here, you know, when you look at, most of the time, you find many people in the society, you know, when you like what we were watching from the video, they were showing that time, so people, they just pick up those jobs. Not really, they just want to pick up that job.
Okay.
They just go and pick up that job because they just want to be living. But if that job you are doing is your call, that your talent or your gift, you will see that even though they are paying you lesser amount of what you are doing, you will see yourself drive that joy doing it.
Wow. Thank you very much. I want to ask you a question. Should a career path be dependent on educational background? For instance, maybe your academic background. Should a career path? Because I imagine somebody who went to a university and for some reasons, there was no job or there was nothing to be done after he graduated and he needed to work to earn a living. And it has to do what you got to do to just make money and to survive. So tell me, calling out a career path, the question is kind of, I want to ask in two ways. How do an individual develop or call out a career path for himself? And your academic background, what you studied in school, for instance, there are people who study law and they eventually become a lawyer and they pick up that as a career also, and that's their job. Okay, but for some people also who, for instance, they went for a course and they studied a course in the university and they never end up using that as a career or as a job, for instance. So my question is this: does academic background has anything to do with picking a career for yourself or a job?
Your academic background has nothing to do with picking a career. I will come up from there.
Okay.
I just want to have understanding of something here. Your academic background can only be an aid.
Okay.
It can only be an aid.
A career.
Of picking up a career. No, career, remember something, we said something earlier.
All right.
That is something that you find doing and you are happy doing it.
Okay.
Look at the case of the fishermen, the disciple of Jesus Christ. They were not educated.
All right.
They were not educated. But because what they find doing, what their job, their occupation, was that fishing. And they were happy doing it. But Jesus came into the scene. Okay, that one is a different, which we are going to go into later about calling. So what Jesus came into it to reshaping them and give them another view from what they were doing. So your career is just like somebody now who just go to a school. You go to a school, maybe you study, like what I was saying earlier, somebody who read law from the school. You want to become a lawyer. And you may end up become an accountant, how do I call it?
It's possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
Or working in the bank.
Yes.
Which is not a field that you even went for.
All right. All right. So which means that what you're saying is that it's possible that your educational background or your academical background somehow might be, or because there are people, for instance, the reason why I'm saying this is that for somebody who read law in the university and eventually cornered a career for himself, and that's what he's doing as a job.
Okay, Lord, sorry.
The academic background is also helping in this. That's what he loved.
It is helping in that. You know, like now, if, I read accounting, you become an accountant.
Okay.
So as an accountant, it's okay, this is that talent.
That's what you love doing.
That's my talent.
Your passion.
I love doing it.
Okay.
With all my mind or whatever.
All right.
I don't mind how much I've been paid for it.
All right.
But in that area, you know, when somebody go up with what is your your talent, you work with your talent.
Or let's say your passion.
Yeah.
Let's use the word your passion.
Okay.
What you
passion,
love doing.
what you love doing, when you go up and study that particular course in the university, you know, you'll find that most of those people like that, they go very fast.
Okay.
That is, I'm going to a different thing. They go very fast in whatever. But those who, you know, like now, maybe you were applying to go for, let's say, for economics, and you end up, this economy was not forthcoming. Maybe you write down 1 or 2 times and you just go for another course entirely. Your passion is not that course you went for.
Okay.
Because your passion is to become either an economist.
Okay.
So now, as you go for that course, maybe after studying that course in the university, and lucky enough, maybe you find yourself in your passion. Are you seeing what I'm saying?
Yes.
You will be happy because you are in your passion.
Okay.
If you move to university these days, to our university these days, interview, you will see that 70 or 50 to 70% of people are not reading what they intend to read in
Or they're not
university.
doing what, or maybe they
Are
don't
not
like
studying.
it. They're not studying what they have passion for.
Passion for.
Okay. All right. You want to say 1 or 2 things?
Yes,
okay. Very
yes.
short.
Okay. I just want to pick it from the point of view of ideal and actual. You understand? The ideal thing is that your line of study is supposed to be your line of career. Because if you look at it, while I was in school, in my secondary school,
the essence of going to school?
Yes, even my teachers, by the time we were going to leave from GS to SS, they said, go and pray about it.
What do you want to become?
What do you want to become? What do you want to do?
That was not job, that was your career.
That was career. So what do I want to do? What do I want to become in life? I started thinking about it. So I decided to go to art class.
Okay.
Because I was believing that I'm going in the line of my career, ideally, like I said. But the actual now is that the kind of society we have found ourselves, most times, when you are now fighting for what you want to be your career, eventually they will give you something else. Yes. I don't know if you studied what you picked in school, but that was what I studied. Most times.
I think 80% is no.
80%, in fact, 90%.
I think that's why we have a system, a confused system, or an environment, or a kind of a country or an environment, a system that you have people doing what they don't love doing.
What they don't love doing.
Because there was no platform from the beginning to help them assess what they crave for when they were younger.
Yes.
I'm a singer, I love singing. And for instance, you wanted to go to a school to go and study more on that, but you are not given that opportunity. You end up seeing yourself studying medicine.
Exactly.
And you graduated, you needed to work.
Exactly.
Adding to what you are saying, you know, when you are doing what you don't want to do, you see that to maximize that thing in you will not be there.
Okay.
The company will not be able to get the best of you.
All right.
Just to buttress what he just said, I was privileged to read the story of a guy. The guy wanted to be a musician.
All right.
Now, still on the actual, You understand? But the factor that determined the actual of this one was the parents. The parent wanted him to be a medical doctor, but he wants to be a musician. Eventually, he became a medical doctor and a successful medical doctor. But on the long run, there was a day in the community where he practiced. They decided to give the best medical doctor an award. And they called him up for the occasion, and the parents who were there, and they presented the award to him that, oh, you are the best medical doctor in this environment. And while the guy was receiving the award, he shed tears.
Yeah.
He shed tears, and he said, this award is to my parents. Now I want to go in the line of my career.
Yeah.
He said, what I love doing is to sing. Yeah. But my parents want me to be a medical doctor. I have gotten this award for them. It's for them. Now I want to go in the line of my career. Wow. So most times these things are being determined by external factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at times, sorry, to what you were saying now, you know, at times, it's not even what they are paying you that really matter to you. Like I have I have a friend that this guy is working with MRS. You know, he's well paid. But when, at times like this, you just come and sit down and say, this is not where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
So, you know, is it, and there was a certain time that is when time he appear where he's supposed to be, he feel more happier.
All right. So I think the person, if the person is watching online, or if you can connect to the person, regardless of if he's satisfied, if he really wants to find passion, if he really want to go further in his career, I think it's high time that person left the job and focused on his career and his passion. Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. Before we move further, we want to just acknowledge the presence of Miss Omolola Shomoyiwa Oluwatoyin Okelola Chinedu Kingsley Agiriga, and for everyone joining us all over the world, we say thank you for joining, and we believe that you bring out your comments, your view about what we are talking about tonight. Thank you so much for all joining us. And okay, we want to take it further from there. Now we want to look at the area of calling.
Wow.
Your calling, because the topic is your career, your job, and your calling. What is calling, or what is purpose?
Okay, for me, calling is what you are made for, what you are, like you use the word purpose. Purpose is what a thing is made for. This is what this thing has been made for. And calling in the religious aspect or setting is what God has called you out for, and what God has made you to be, just like he said to Jeremiah. He said, while you are in the womb of your mother, I know you and I have called you, you understand? So calling is that assignment that has been given to you that you should run with. Now to add to it, most times, a lot of people don't get to know what their calling is. Okay. Most times. And that is why majority of what people do becomes difficult, and it becomes, you know, like they are just struggling to achieve or get results.
Or somehow in them not knowing what their call is, they tend to channel their passion
towards the line of
or their career, for instance. Okay, somebody who does not know his call, but somehow it's evidence. Sometimes, before I go further, let me just hang it there so that I'm able to ask that.
Add to what
No, I'll come in. Okay. I'll come in because I have a question, different question for you. And the question, between a career, a job, because from what you said now, I could say a calling or a purpose is God factor.
Sure.
Your job and your career is human factor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe environmental factor,
Yes.
external factor. So God is the originator of your purpose or whatever your calling is.
Calling.
Now, is there any difference between a career? I'm asking you, sir. Between a career, a job, and a calling, which one should be the utmost importance for somebody who understands, who knows? Because there are people who don't even know their calling, and we're still going to talk about how do some people discover what their calling is. But for somebody who understands what a call is, a job and a career, which of these should that individual give attention more to?
Let's look at the difference between the calling and the career.
No, we've talked about, so that because
The
of time,
difference-
we talked about the career, we talked about about job.
Okay.
The calling.
Yeah, you know, when you look at, that is where I'm going to answer what you are asking.
Okay.
Talking about the career, and the calling. Career is for the advancement of the company.
Or an individual. It doesn't have to be a company.
You can be a
You
company
can have a
or an
career.
individual.
Yes, you could have
For the advancement
a career for
of
yourself.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the company.
It's purposely for the earthly rewards.
All right, for yourself as an individual.
And as an individual.
All right.
Why your calling is for eternal reward.
The word.
And also is for the advancement of the kingdom.
Okay. Whatever your purpose is,
Whatever
whatever God has called you
Yes.
to be, is for His kingdom.
In your career allow you, your talent allow you to have a wonderful career.
Okay.
Why you have this wonderful career, which is, your career is what you are paid for. Are you getting this? Why your
job,
your calling is what you are made of.
Okay, so now which one should an individual give importance to more?
From the, as I call it, the little this thing I've just explained now.
Yes.
You know,
say it out so that individual.
the little thing you have just, from what I've just explained now.
Yes.
You need to dwell more on your calling. Your calling should be your most priority, because that is one.
The essence of
as
what
Wale was saying just now. He said that is what you are made of, and that is what God made you of. Because you must pay attention to what God made you of.
Okay, can I come in? Can I add? Okay.
Yes.
If I may say, from these three things, I would rather say that all of them, we need to pay attention to them, because God wants us to do well in all fields.
Earthly relevance.
He wants us to be relevant in all fields.
Right.
You understand? If you look at the scriptures, the first thing God did after He made man was that He gave man work. That's Genesis 2:15. He gave man work. So it means that your job too is important.
Yes.
As much as the calling God gives you is. And also the career part you are, bringing out for yourself is equally important. So you need to do well in all fields. So I would rather put in between all of them time. All of them are important. It's just to be able to apportion the time rightly for every one of them.
Both the job, the career, and the calling.
And the calling.
Okay, let's talk about this. How do I discover my calling or my purpose? For an individual who is watching online, okay, what is calling, for instance? How do I know my purpose? What is purpose? All I know is that I have a good job, and I have a career, and I have a passion for what I do.
Okay.
So what's your take? How do an individual discover his purpose or his calling?
For to discover purpose, one of the ways we can discover our purpose, some people pray to know what their purpose is, while some people, it is based on passion. When you see where your passion is, I can honestly tell you, about 80% that is where your calling lies. If your passion is so strong on something, you can do it even without taking money or collecting money from anybody. You are not even ready to monetize it, but you just want to do it. Just because you derive joy and satisfaction in it, that is where the calling or the purpose actually lies.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before you ask, somebody said, to me, I would define a job as a legitimate practice that brings about a source of income. Yes, that's a job. Yes, right. Brings in the money.
It's agreed.
Yes. Yeah. And passion is what you love doing, and career is what you love doing that you take time to build. And it's not just one thing. It's not to build. It takes a time.
Most times for a lifetime.
Yes, a lifetime to build for yourself. And when it comes to calling, also this is what you are called to do. This is your purpose, the primary assignment why you are here. And I want to ask you, sir, between choosing a career and fulfilling purpose, what should be the drive? Should it be money or fulfillment?
Yeah,
Because some people feel
choosing a career.
Yes, yes, between
and
yes,
calling.
and fulfilling
Fulfilling
purpose.
Yeah.
What should be the drive? Should it be fulfillment?
You know, when you look at it from this angle, you know, we said something earlier that your your career is what you enjoy doing, whether you've been paid for or not.
Okay, so you're saying fulfillment.
Yeah, that is fulfillment. So I don't think it should not base on money. If you want to fulfill your career,
Neither career nor calling.
neither calling, it shouldn't be based on money.
Okay.
Because you are doing this thing when you find joy doing it. Because I had a friend that he traveled from here to Enugu State to go and cover an event because that is the area of his calling. He said all the money he spent from here to that place, he said he didn't even count it as money being spent. He took a flight from here down to Enugu. He said he didn't count it as money being spent. He was happy. He said as he was coming home fulfilled.
All right. Let me also read this out. Thank you very much for that. Somebody also said, Emmanuel Sklinfit, okay, said purpose is simply the key reason for one's existence. Yes, we've talked about that. Now I want to ask Mr. Wali, is there a possibility of an individual having a calling, a career, and a job as one?
Very possible.
Right.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
Right.
And most times it starts as a job.
Okay.
When in the race of survivor, you pick up a job.
Okay.
And God helping you, let me take for instance, you pick up a job in a church, maybe as an admin.
Okay.
Or as, you understand, maybe one of the departments, you pick up a job.
Okay.
And you are being paid. And on the long run, you discover that, oh, you're enjoying what you're doing.
Actually.
And you decide to take it further. You understand? When you take it further beyond the point at which you took it, it's becoming a career. You understand? You're building a career for yourself. On the long run, you discover that, oh, you enjoy this thing you're doing. There's so much passion you're giving to it. Even at some point, they said, sorry, this month we are not able to pay your salary. We are going to pay you next month. The following month, they are not able to pay, but you just enjoy doing what you're doing. And they see you even putting more energy than you have been doing so far. Yeah. You eventually discover that you have a career in the line of what you're doing. And also, it is a job because they are paying you.
Okay.
You put so much passion, you discover that it is a calling.
It is a calling. Okay, but somehow I feel that if you, yes, I believe that when it comes to a call, not all gets to know their call just while growing up. A lot of time, individual gets to maybe discover their call in the long run. Maybe they are as a result of their work with God, because it takes a conscious work with God to be able to discover why you are here. And okay, for which means that God is the giver of the career, of the purpose, of the calling. It takes one in God to be able to identify what your calling is along the line, which means that there are probability that God giving you a job, also making it your career, and also putting it as a call is not a mistake. So which means sometimes God could be involved in the job, in the career,
and
the calling. Good. Now I want to ask this question from Mr. Jerry Ebel.
Yes, sir.
Do you think God, which of this do you think God would judge, or God would judge a man with? Your job, or God will hold you accountable for? What do you think God will hold every man? Because he said, every man will give account of their works.
Of their works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one do you think God will hold a man accountable for? For somebody out there that has a job, that has a career, he's a Christian, but yet he goes to church.
Yeah.
Hold on, he goes to church, says, goes to a midweek service, and he's doing, pays his offering, and he's doing well. And he has, for one reason or the other, had never been able to discover his calling. Because there are a whole lot of people that we, in the body of Christ, in the church, people having a job, doing fantastically well in their career, but ask them for their calling, they do not know. And they are doing what they are serving in the church, they are paying their tithes, they are doing all their obligations when it comes to you being a Christian. And their job or their calling, they've never been able to discover. Do you think God will hold that person accountable for not being able to fulfill his calling, his job or his career, for that person, that kind of an individual?
Yeah.
So that for a person who does not have a calling or who does not know what he's called into, can begin to look deeply if he eventually knows that God will be dealing with me based on my calling and on my job or my career. I'm just using that for an example. Let's have you.
Okay.
What do you think God will do?
Look at it from this angle. When you say it, should God hold a person, what will God hold the person accountable for?
Or will he hold that individual accountable more on the calling than the career or the job?
Yeah. There's something you need to understand here. Like what Reverend was saying the other time. I call him Reverend, please, sorry. What Reverend was saying the other time, he said when you are trying to do this, you must balance the three of them. See, God will going to hold you accountable. Let's say now you are paying your tithe, like what we were saying earlier.
Right.
Pay your tithe, do what you're supposed to do. But if the genuinity of this tithe you are bringing is not pure,
Okay.
don't you say God will not hold you accountable?
No. You said something that if
Where you are bringing
your
this thing
your
from.
tithe is not pure,
Yeah. Where
what
you
if
are
it
bringing
is
this thing
pure?
from.
What if you're doing, or for instance, you have a career,
What you're doing as a job.
you are
what
doing
if
as
it
a
is
job.
pure?
For instance,
Yeah.
I'm a
And
businessman
you've
and
not
I'm doing a good
discovered your
job,
calling.
and I'm paying my tithes. How is that one not pure? I'm asking, for example, for somebody out there.
Yeah. Now, what I'm trying to point out for you is this. When you are doing all this,
Yes.
you do it because you want to, how do I call it? You are trying to, the only thing you're not able to identify is your call.
Yes.
But you are all these things, you are fulfilling it.
Yes.
But there's something you need to understand there.
So what is it?
It is that if somebody has a job doing and you are doing well in that job, you know, there's where we started from, talking about the career.
Yes, we understand.
You-
I want this answer sharp. Somebody wants to hear it.
You have your heart doing there. As you are doing that thing, and you know, it's left for that individual to call upon God.
What you didn't get my question. Which for somebody who has a job,
Okay.
a career, and for instance, or maybe let's say has a purpose or a calling. Which of these do you think God will judge that individual for? We have said that the calling is eternal.
It's
It's of eternal value,
reward.
eternal reward, and that's the reason why you're sent here. If I don't send you to go to school, I can't be asking you, did you go to school? So I want to know, which one do you think God will judge or hold us accountable for? The reason why He sent us, or what we are doing here on earth?
See, I still say something there that what you are doing here on earth is also important to God as well.
Okay, so
And your calling is also important to Him as well.
So is God going to judge that individual based on those three things: your job,
Everything
your
has to be
career,
put together.
and your calling? Okay, good. Okay, let's Reverend.
Okay.
Is that your take?
Yes, like you
Just
said,
one quick before I do the questions
God is
here.
going to judge us from all angles.
Okay.
And in addition, take if somebody is able to do well in the aspect of his job and his career, and is not fulfilling that of the purpose, of course, that is virtue lost. God is going to hold you accountable for it. But if you do well in the place of your calling, you have a career that you have packed for yourself, but maybe the part of the job, there is no how it will fly that you don't have a job. But let's take it in the sense that maybe in the part of the job, you didn't take up a job, you just took your career and your calling and you run with it. God has no issue with you as long as you are able to survive. If you think with your career you will survive without taking up a job, if you are able to build that vision to the level that it starts sustaining itself without taking on a job, and your calling, you are doing well, your job, you are good.
All right.
But remember, adding to what he said here.
No. Sorry, sir, to cut you off on that. Because I want to ask this. Somebody said, how do I survive on my calling? Especially when I don't get monetary reward. Remuneration, why doing it? How do I survive on my calling? Especially when I don't get monetary reward. Why doing this?
It is always advisable.
Okay.
You know, this we see
So
this.
we see because there are people who knows their calling and they are not doing any job and they are not running with any career.
We see this mostly in the church. I'm sorry to have said that. You know, I'm a church boy.
Yes.
So we see this mostly in the church. But my advice is that have a job you're doing
To
because
sustain your
to
calling.
sustain that calling.
Does it not mean that God who called you does not have provision for your calling financially?
There is a long-run provision. It is not instant. There is a long-run provision. Take, for instance, I have decided to be a pastor.
Okay.
You understand? I need time to be able to build the career, to build the calling, if it is a career for me. I want to have a ministry. I want to expand my church. You understand? It's a career for me and it's also a calling. Because I believe that I'm called to be a pastor.
Okay.
Now, in that light, while trying to put things together, one or two, I have ministered to one or two people, they blessed my life. Don't think that they will bless your life with everything you need at the moment. You understand? You can have one or two things that will be coming in. That cannot sustain you. You should have something by the side that you are doing that is helping the ministry. There is a level the ministry will now get to that it will be able to blossom by itself without you continuing with the
so
job.
the advice for that kind of person is to get something doing.
Get something doing. Maybe like a business.
So help augment.
Yes, it's just logical. Because I have, you know, when you look at the society we have found ourselves, I'm sorry, Pastor said something on Sunday when he said, the only thing we have is God. You understand?
Okay.
Because the environment we have found ourselves, the government, not helping issue, all that we have for ourselves is God when nothing is working. You understand?
Yes.
Now, most times you see in this kind of circle and environment we have found ourselves, we always tend to lean on God, believing that because I'm running my calling, which is to be a pastor or to be an admin in a church or something, God will provide everything and everything will come and I will just sit there. It doesn't work like that.
way.
It is good you take on something that will survive you, pending
you
when
you're established. Thank you very much. Thank you much. I want to read out some of the comments that we have. Somebody says, should you study something you love or you get a degree that would get you a job? My advice is, just like you said, study what you love, regardless. Because you could get yourself a job and you could also build a career for yourself when it is your passion and it is what you love. Do not go to university or go to a school of or study just to get a job at the end of the day. Do everything, and that's what has killed.
Now, if I'm going to twist the question of that person is saying that if I study what I love, I might not get the job. But if I study what will get me a job, I will get the job. So that's the question of that person.
Yes.
And so if he or she is to study what he loves, and job is not forthcoming, go into a business.
But he or she will find fulfillment to study what she loves. That is the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Yes,
that's the bottom line.
The fulfillment.
Yes. Somebody said, Emmanuel Slimfeet, said, Michael Jordan once said, it is amazing when people pay me for that which I love doing most. When one is fulfilled in the part career, he or she derives joy from it, and the reward will definitely come. Let me open this. And he said the reward will definitely come in the long run. In the long run, when you run after what you love doing.
I was discussing something with my wife yesterday. We were speaking of there is a uronologist that I was supposed to see, And I was told that just to see that man, that I'm going to pay 25,000. And I was like, just to see somebody, I will pay 25,000. And my wife told me that you are paying for what he studied. Did you study what he studied? Somebody else will pay for what you have studied.
Correct. Thank you for that. I want to quickly read this also. Sariki Michael Lord said, it is not wisdom to develop or achieve more. Is it not wisdom to develop or achieve more in my career to support my calling? Can career even be of importance in one's calling and purpose?
Career.
Oh yes, he said, is it not wisdom to develop or achieve more in my career to support my calling? Is it not wisdom that I explore, that I develop and achieve more in my career to support my calling? He's asking, is it not? Of course, if you know your calling and if you know your career.
What is there is if you know your calling and you know the career,
you could do one for one. You
Can
could
I
just
twist,
like you said.
can I twist
it's
this?
just like the case of the I always like to use that.
Okay.
Jesus Christ went into that. He knows that these people, this is what the fishermen.
Okay.
This is what these
They
people
love
love doing.
Okay, so
And that is
all you
why
have to
he
do
just has to
just
provide
tell
them
it.
to move them.
So which means it's possible.
It's possible.
You could develop, empower yourself in the area of your career to support your calling. That's why I said sometimes, most times, it takes time to discover your calling. But it takes a while to really know your career. Very young, you discover your career and your job.
And how do you discover your calling from that very angle we're talking about here? Most of the time, as a human
It takes
being,
God to discover
as
your
a
calling.
human being,
You have
it
balanced
takes God to discover your calling.
If you do
I want
not
to
have
tweak
that
this a
God factor.
little.
But there's something you need to add there a little again is that, at times, there's what we call inner witness.
Sir,
The inner
it is
voice.
someone who has,
I want to tweak this a little.
Don't bring it to the church.
Can you permit me
Somebody
to tweak
who
this a
do not
little?
have a relationship with God, you are suggesting inner witness. How does he recognize inner
Okay,
witness?
leave the inner. Okay. This is another angle. Is that I was looking to one of this guy Nick's videos. There's something he says that I love so much. He said, anytime he moved out like this, he see himself doing all these things after finishing the whole this thing. He doesn't even get tired. Are you getting this?
Can I?
Yes.
Sorry, permit me.
There's so much questions.
Sorry, can I just quickly chip in
1
this?
second.
It might be more than 1 second.
No. You
mean 1 minute, right?
No, I can't give you 1 minute. There are a whole lot of questions here.
Okay, let me just tweak
Comments
this a
that need to be
little.
done.
Let me just quickly tweak this a little. One's calling, most times, is time-bound. I don't want to restrict it to the church alone, where you have to be on the altar till you die. You understand? Take, for instance, if you have been called that you are going to lead a nation, maybe as a president, or you are going to be a minister to effect a particular change. Your calling is time-bound. Career most times is not time-bound because it will even outlive you. You understand? So what always happens most times is when people, when they are done with the job, when they have concluded the vision, the career is in between. By the time they are through with the vision, the calling or the purpose, they end up with the career before they die, most times. And I'm going to tie this up. I don't know if you know that Obasanjo is now a teacher. He's a president of this country. He has finished as a president. He took up, studying now. Now he's a lecturer in now. You understand?
So career.
He has gone back and most likely.
Thank you very much for that. I want to quickly ask you, Mr. Wale. What's the relationship? Somebody is saying, what's the relationship in just a few seconds? Okay. So what's the relationship or link between my career, my purpose or calling?
Link between career and purpose?
Yes, what's the link? Is there a factor that connects
between career and the purpose? Okay, like I said, purpose comes mostly with passion driven. You understand? There's so much passion. This is what God has called you for. Most times, even when you are young, that passion is there that when I grow up, this is what I will do. You understand? And while growing up, you discover that you have interest in something. on the side,
On
you
the side,
understand,
too.
and you decide to take it as a pet project, and you start working on it. Now, the link between them that I may say is there's passion in between.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's say
There's
the word is
passion in between. Yes,
Okay,
the
let's
word
say
in
the word is passion.
between is passion.
Adding to what
That's
he
the
said,
link.
adding
That's
to-
the link for
adding
me.
to- adding to what he said, you know, if you are working on your career, and you know, I said something earlier that if you don't get tired in what you are doing, it's showing that yes, there is a core in that thing you are doing. So it's also add as a link. You know, most of the time, I know some pastors, when they go to preach on the pulpit like this, there's something I love doing. As I am now, if I sit down to teach from now to tomorrow, I don't get tired. I feel happy teaching.
All right.
Okay.
So that has made me to discover that yes, there is
Something
something
beyond.
in me.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to go back to somebody's question. I'll just read out what somebody said, and I'll also read out Mr. Bode Kambi Budier said, my job, my career, and my calling. Calling is the purpose to which God has made you, which most of us find difficult to identify.
Yeah,
Yes, you're very right. Find it difficult because it's God factor. It's not just what you pick up along the line.
true.
You could pick up a career, you could pick up a job, but you cannot pick up a calling. Thank you. He said your purpose in life could be that you should be a doctor, meaning you will make maximum impact than a doctor doing it for money. Perfect, you have said it.
True.
Yes, you will do it better even when you are not paid.
Yeah.
Even better when you are sleeping, they can wake you and you go and do it.
That's true.
Okay, yes. From Shola Olafe said, based on the question he asked before, that do I need, as if I have a calling and it's not bringing money, do I need to augment? How do I sustain? How do I sustain my calling when I do not even have resources? And he's saying here, he said from the gentleman's response to my question, we definitely should not have full-time ministers. I believe.
Well. For me, it's very possible to have a full-time minister. It's in fact, some ministry have made it easy.
It
you
just
want to be
is
a
an
full-time
advice.
minister, go and apply for it. You become a
But
full-time minister.
but
You'll
sorry,
be paid.
a full-time
I know a
minister,
pastor.
they pay them.
Sorry. I know a pastor. He's now in Calabar. He's a full-time minister. When I knew him, he's a full-time minister in Lagos, in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He's being paid.
Yeah.
His 2 children are being sponsored in school, and the accommodation is free. And even in church, they always still give them some food. You understand? They give them food in church, and they still pay him. So, in fact, it's even good to be a full-time minister if you know that is where your calling is. Just build your calling, your job,
It's your job and your career.
Everything.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
All right. Thank you very much to that. Mr. Sariki Michael Wetlaw says, life purpose is not synonymous with career. We have said that. For some people, their work is a job, a source of income, perhaps even a source of stimulation and reward. But it is unrelated. It is unrelated to their broader life purpose. I want to read everything he said here. Okay, he said, I would like to share this quote by Mark Zuckerberg. He said, purpose is that sense that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. Your purpose is also always bigger than you.
Yeah.
Bigger than
not
you.
exhausted.
Yeah.
So you have a sense of something that you are part of that is bigger than yourself. That we are needed. He said that we have something better ahead to work for. So I'll take that to him. Something bigger ahead to work for. Purpose is what creates true happiness. But it is not enough to have purpose. To have purpose yourself, you have to create a sense of purpose for others. Yes, and so it goes beyond.
And that creating the sense of purpose of others could now bring about the career.
The career.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's just, it's as simple as that.
That building out the environment,
Yes.
building out your people
Yes,
around
and if you look at it naturally, whatever God gives you, it's not just for
it's
yourself.
not for
Yes,
yourself.
that's
It
true.
is for others.
It's for the
And
edification
when you
of the-
explore it, it should extend to people.
Yeah.
And that's why, for instance, God called Pastor E.A. Adeboye. Today, there are other thousands of people who discover their call through him.
Yeah.
Not only call, some also got job, some also got a career.
If we use
Through
our
that
father,
purpose.
if we
So
use our
naturally,
father,
I'm beginning to sense that
Yeah.
by God, when God gives you a calling, there's a job in that calling.
yes, there is job, there is career.
There's a job.
So the reason
All in
why
one.
we are confused as individuals,
Yeah.
if I'm right, is that from the beginning, we do not
Know
discover
our calling. Once you know your calling, all these things are easy
become
for you to work with.
Yes, and somebody said, so calling has an endpoint. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, at the end of the day, you give account to God what you are called for. Now, I want to ask this. How can an individual balance a career, a job, and fulfilling purpose? I'll ask you, and I also want from you.
Okay.
Before
Yeah.
we go, and we'll have
I
a
will
question.
say one of those
How do
things
I
there.
balance a
Talking about-
career, my job, and my purpose?
Yeah.
3 in 1.
If you really want to balance them, in John chapter 15, I think from verse 1, talking about when Jesus was saying, my husband is I'm
Okay,
the branch,
okay,
any
okay,
branch
okay.
in me, any branch that does not dwell in me will
Will
not bear
fruit.
fruit.
I think that's John 15.
John 15
Yes.
will not bear fruit.
Yes.
So that means abiding in the Lord is
My
is
father
the
is
key.
the vine, and I'm the okay.
Is
Yes.
the key. So if you really want to balance this and to have a fulfill these things, you need to abide in God.
Okay. To be able to balance the
Yeah.
3, not just the 2 and not just 1, you need to abide in God.
Abide in God.
God begins to give you wisdom, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Every resources you
Every
need
resources you need.
to fuel both your career and your job.
It-
When you understand your purpose and you allow Him and you abide in Him, right? Sir.
Okay, like he has said, the first one is the God factor. You need God because He is the one who will give the wisdom on how to manage it all. And if you have 3 in 1, I don't think the issue of balancing actually comes in. If you have 3 in 1, everything will just work together. Everything will just work in line. But in the case whereby somebody's career is different from the calling and the job, then there is need for balancing. And that is where I now put time in between them. For your job, there is a timeline. Take, for instance, somebody that takes on a job that is 8 to 4. You know that between 8 and 4 o'clock, you need to give your best. And you ensure that your head is in 8. You understand? Let all your attention be in 8. Between that time frame, between that 8 and 4 o'clock. Immediately after 4, I don't advise you to take any job home. Let the job stay in the office. Face your career and your calling.
Thank you very much. I have this comment from Mr. Jerry Jacob that says, it says, my first point is, because we're rounding up, we have just a few minutes to round up for today's hangout. He said, my first point is, I think every person that has found Christ can move on to discovering his calling. Good. He said, there's actually no discovering of calling or purpose when you've not discovered your maker, who is God. Until you discover him is right. Until you discover your maker. You cannot discover your calling because he's the giver of the call. Alright, it says secondly, every believer that have discovered his calling or a calling should understand that the calling is not separate from your career. It's no separate from your career. For a believer, your career and every other activities are embedded in your calling and to help harness the purpose of your calling. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say to this? That is what he's saying, that it takes you to discover, to know your maker before you understand your calling. And whatever you now discover your calling to be, your career should not be separated from your calling.
No.
Inside your calling, you should point out a career
from your job.
He didn't say that. I'm just trying to expression from what he said. I'm trying to expression from what he said. He said there should be no separation between. Actually, if you discover your calling, you should be able to link your career inside your calling. That's what he said. Yeah. He said your career should be embedded in your calling. To help harness your calling.
I agree.
I think I agree. I agree totally to that. Outside job.
Outside job.
He didn't say anything about job. The guy is not nice. He should say something to job. And finally, before we go tonight, he said, Sariki said, Adewale Shokoya said, career is where you fall when you finish your calling. I thought calling end point is in front of the Father, like Femi Johnson said. How are we falling back on career?
Now, let me quickly try and explain that. I said not bringing it from the view of the pulpit, you understand, of the church. Take for instance, my calling as a person. Now, I'm seeking my calling as a person is that I should lead this nation.
This nation, okay.
That is my calling. And haven't fulfilled your calling, you are falling back on something. I used Obasanjo as an example. He has led this nation and is falling back on something, you understand, which is eventually going to outlive him. That was what I said. I'm not bringing it from the point of view of pulpit. From the point of view of pulpit, you know, you'll be at the end, what is it called, behind the altar. That is where you end everything. Yes.
All right, thank you for tonight. An awesome time for today's hangout. We thank God for what God has done for us today. And in 1-2 seconds, I want a last word from you, Reverend, last word from you for people who are still struggling with identifying their purpose and calling. A word, one word,
okay,
advice.
My advice based on my personal experience is that go to God in prayer, know what you are made for, so that you can function well in it. And like the person that chatted us up said, you build your career in line of that. And because of the society we have found ourselves, you might not have your job there for now. You can get a job or you can get a business. Then on the long run, the career, the calling can be self-sustaining. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You used me on 2 seconds and we do not have any more time. All right, thank you. We know you have something, but don't worry, we'll put it at the end of the day. Thank you so much for tonight. We bless God. Thank you for joining us on all your comments. Thank you for all your comments that came in today. We hope that you're blessed. See you same time next week. God bless you. Remember to share, like, and comment on all of our platforms. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You're my Lord and King, and I bless your name.